You make it to. They say you make it to 100 episodes, and you don't care anymore.
We're still learning. Yeah.
You do whatever you want. You have fun with it.
You tech crap all the time.
Just go with it. Have a good time.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
We're not here for a long time. We're here for a good time. You know what I mean?
I still can't believe it's been 100. Part of me can believe it's taken 10 years to get to 100. Part of me can't.
Yeah, it's funny.
Right?
It's like, wait, only 100 because they already did 10 years. Yeah.
Like we technically did a number twice because of how bad it went. So
that was the one with,
right?
Yoon Row.
So we've got that as well. Talk about the worst tech issues ever, right? That was just chaotic.
That was really rough.
Like we went from plug and play. Yeah, we went from plug and play like Google Hangouts Live, right? And then we got fancy, and that was great, but it took a lot of work. And then we kind of streamlined it back to this, which has been relatively smooth, but we've had our moments with those stinky Apple devices, right?
Yeah, we're getting better now, though. It's cool.
So yeah,
it's been a positive. It's been an up and down, like a roller coaster experience, but overall pretty darn positive,
and like I'm so excited. We've had Emily with us for a half a year now. Is it like?
Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah, my first one was in December. I think.
I was going to say December with Tony Monahan. Right, was the first one. Now this is like what would that make this the 7th episode that you're on?
I think so.
8th because we did 2 last month.
That's right.
Oh yeah, we did 2. Kevin, how many for you? 70.
It's less than 70 because I missed a couple, but I'm probably in the 60s.
High 60s? That's awesome. Yeah. And I think
Steve's wild to think about.
Steve's probably like around 90.
92?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm 99.
Because I think we did we do 8 that were just audio? Well, it might even be more than that because like some of those early ones, like there were some bits where I'd record some things in advance for you guys to use as well.
Oh, that's true.
So
you get partial points for that.
Right, exactly.
Well,
so I think it's like 92 video ones, I think is what we're at, and then little bits and pieces in some of those audio ones. But
we're going to consult with the judges, and we'll get back to you to determine whether or not those episodes count for you or not. But we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah. I missed the one whenever that was.
That was your first ever miss, right?
It was last June. It was a year ago. Yeah, it's the only one I missed. Yeah. Yeah, it was a tough pill to swallow, but I was doing cool turtle related things. So
yeah,
I was going to miss an episode for anything. It'd be that.
Steve, that was our highest viewed show, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
It was. As bizarre as that sounds, right?
Yeah, it makes sense.
I know how you feel with that too, because like I know the first time I had to miss a wood turtle survey for whatever it was weird, right? Like not being there. And actually, I've missed enough of them now that Andy's actually been to more of them than I have. So, I missed one day for being sick this spring, and I skipped another to do something. Like we had to postpone one, so I skipped a day to do something that Lisa and I had already planned to do that day. And then I had to miss one a couple years ago when our fridge crapped out on turtle survey weekend. So Lisa and I were buying a new fridge instead of me out in the field. So.
What kind of an excuse is that? I was buying a fridge. I'm sorry.
Right? Like saving the food in our fridge.
What a grown-up excuse.
Right? We actually bought 2 fridges that day. We bought a mini fridge we could use to salvage our food, and while we waited for the big fridge.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's gross.
Yeah.
You're an old man.
Right? Being an adult, for sure.
So, Anthony, you've only missed one. What were you doing that day that was so important?
I was finding turtles in the wild, a species that I love, and I was finding them in the wild for the first time. So it was good.
Okay, all right, that's a valid excuse. What species?
Yeah. Pacific pond turtles,
which
is California's only native freshwater turtle. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was good.
That's
freshwater water turtle. Yeah. It was awesome. It was really awesome. Hi, everybody. I see a bunch of people in the chat. Thank you so much for tuning in.
So many
we're going to have a
we're really glad you're here.
A lot of fun this time. We're doing things differently. You notice, we haven't gotten to the roll-in yet, so we haven't even kicked things off yet. We're real excited. We should probably get to that in a minute. Steve, what do you think?
Yeah. How about I don't know. Are you guys ready to hit it now? And let's.
We are. And
roll that beautiful bean footage.
Yes, exactly. And we've gotten some footage of Emily that Kevin, you didn't know about yet.
Exciting.
101.
So, yes.
Episode 101. There'll be a
Episode
new
101
intro.
will be ready. Well, let's not. I like to under promise and over deliver. So at some point in the future, probably by episode 200, we'll have a new roll in.
At some point.
You're getting sick of this old one that has Chris Leone in it. Who's that guy anyway? Then yeah.
Welcome to the Pondcast, the destination for insightful discussions and interviews on the appreciation, conservation, and husbandry of reptiles, with a focus on turtles and tortoises. Now, let's join our team of turtle nerds.
Woo!
Oh, hey, everybody.
Oh, you're still here?
Episode
We actually
100.
picked up 3 people while we were rolling that. I love it. We've now got 16 viewers live.
All right.
We've got more on the way, I'm sure.
Sounds great. Sounds great. So we're going to do something different today. Welcome. First of all, welcome. Episode 100, the Pondcast. They said we couldn't do it, but here we are. And real excited to, hi Benji. Oh my goodness. Real excited to hang out with everybody, talk turtles, and do what we've been doing for over 10 years now, and now over 100 actual episodes 100 times that we got together and met like this. I think most things, like I would like to know, like work meetings and things like that I do like regularly. I'd love if everything was just counted like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like how many times have I walked out to the pond in the backyard and checked on the turtles? I would love it to be like, oh my gosh, like milestone. This is the 2000th time that I walked out and checked on these turtles. That's awesome. Anyway, milestones. We're really doing it. We're here. We're real excited, and we're doing something different. So you notice we didn't do the roll-in right away, trying to just get a little bit of the chatter out of the way first thing. And now we're here. We've got Emily, Kevin, and Steve is on camera for this one because he deserves it. What's up, y'all?
100.
Mm-hmm.
100.
This is awesome.
We're doing things different.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I think the first time I came on was like kind of as like a guest, and then I just didn't leave. So I'm sorry that I was that clingy boyfriend that he didn't leave. It's been 70 episodes,
I can't quit you, I keep saying it's next episode he's out of here, and then here we are.
Aww. Very cute.
It's like
yeah.
Rachel McAdams, Ryan Gosling, it's a love meant to be.
I was thinking more like Heath Ledger and help me out.
Jake Gyllenhaal,
yeah, who's like reinvigorating his
such a
whole
Gyllenhaal
career. Right? I am.
I like the Rachel McAdams one. Which one of you is Rachel McAdams?
I'm a big fan of her, so
Okay.
I'll go for it.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of The Notebook. I cry.
Okay. I don't know enough about it to know which one of us is which, but
Oh, Amanda mocks me.
I'm probably Rachel McAdams, right? Isn't she the
You
meaner
guys would
of
have
the two?
to fight over it. You can both be Rachel McAdams in this. It's okay.
Oh my gosh, I'm embarrassed. So when do we explain what we're doing here and how this is different?
I don't think we explain. I think we just, bring on our first guest, right?
First
And I
guest,
think they'll
there's
catch
multiple
on.
guests. What?
Oh, wait a minute.
You
He
have
just
a
walked
guest?
away. Oh, there he is.
What?
All right. And so here comes our first guest, everybody.
Hey, Cameron.
Yes. I love
Can you
it.
hear
This
me?
is like the Royal Rumble. Yes,
We can.
You sound terrific.
Awesome. Very
Cam,
cool.
what's
Happy to be
going
here.
on?
Congrats on number 100.
Killer Cam, how you doing, man?
Doing good. Doing good. How you guys doing?
Pretty
Living the
good.
dream. You're here.
Yeah.
This is great. Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, so we wanted to talk to you about the new CPP program that you are spearheading with the Turtle and Tortoise Preservation Group. So what can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so it's not necessarily a new program. It's always been something TTPG has been working towards. I mean, it was even in the initial mission statement that they came out with a long time ago. As you guys know, it's all volunteer based, so it really just needed someone to take charge and kind of get the ball rolling. So that's kind of what I've done. But the goal of it for me is really to try to establish breeding colonies, throughout the United States, not necessarily just on, rare endangered species, but, all species of turtles and tortoises. So what I do is essentially maintain a list of members interested in working with specific animals. I have a little survey I have them fill out. And then I maintain kind of just an Excel sheet of who's interested and or capable of working with what species, and try to get them in their hands. It's it's not necessarily, hey, join TTPG, you'll get some free turtles. It's more or less who's qualified, who's in a position to, and a lot of it's it's member supported. So these animals are generally donated from other members. From time to time we do get animals given to the TTPG that we have to find homes for. That happens pretty frequently. I've only been doing this. Well, I've only been doing this for a couple months now, and I did a count this morning. I'm probably around 90 turtles that I've connected and sent to people, or put the two in contact to make it happen. It's kind of a private list that some people are a little cautious about what they work with and who's knowing what they work with, and so that's why it's kind of kept on the down low. But I know who has what, and just trying to make the connections and move animals where they need to be. And so far it's been taken off. It's like I said, it's all member supported, so I've got a lot of support from all the members here, and really just trying to get animals in the right hands and help establish these assurance colonies. So we don't have just singleton animals hanging out and not giving back to the species.
So awesome.
I love that. That's one of the things that I tell people. I'm a turtle breeder, and I educate about turtles where I can, where people will let me and listen to me, and I talk about their conservation and all the other things that I try to do. But really, my favorite thing to do is to play turtle matchmaker, and to get turtle A with turtle B to try to make baby turtles. And this program is doing that so well already. There's a lot of traction and excitement around it, which is so cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, it's all member supported. So, it takes a lot to want to just send off your hatchlings that you spent, probably years, maybe decades, to really, dial in and get them to start reproducing. So it's a lot of trust that people put into me, and I have a lot of respect for that. So, I try to, keep that moving forward, and just try to keep moving animals around, get them where they need to be, get the community engaged a little bit. The little bit of transparency goes a long way. I don't know if you saw, I'm sure you saw, Wayne Hill happened to donate quite a few hatchlings to the CPP. So I've been sending out a lot of turtles here recently, but I'm happy to do it. It's not like I have any financial gain from it. It's just it's something I'm dedicated to at this point, and I love doing it.
That's so awesome. It's a really great thing that you're doing. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. I was really looking forward to hearing more about that. I think I'm going to have some animals that I'm going to I might be able to offer through that program as well. As this year, goes on. So I was kind of curious to hear what all you're doing with that, Cameron. Appreciate that.
Yeah, awesome. I appreciate the opportunity to give my spiel here.
How many people have filled out surveys talking about what turtles they'd be interested in?
So far I've got around 60 or so.
And is it fun, like I'd imagine it to be all up in people's business and seeing things that they only wanted you to see? Because that would be a plus for me, right? Like I get to be a little nosy.
It is, and sometimes it's a little. There's kind of a lot of pressure to it, honestly. Though, I'm given this responsibility to find homes for sometimes some rare and endangered animals, and if I could, I'd love to be able to send them to everybody, but it really comes down to a decision-making process and who's the most qualified and who maybe already has the species or is just looking for a new bloodline or so a lot of it has gotten to so where I can just kind of get to know some of the members on a lot better platform. I'm talking to them regularly, just kind of like being nosy, just getting to know everybody, seeing what they're working with, and what we can do from there. So it is fun to kind of be able to be in everybody's business.
Have you noticed more butt kissing? Like, are people coming out of the woodwork now to suck up to you and talk to you about how great you are? Because I'd imagine that's part of it. No, there has to be.
There's been one or two that are, just joining TTPG because they want free animals. Just trying to form a relationship with people, I've never met before or heard about. And, and then if you're active and engaged in turtles, you kind of already know most of these people. So yeah, there are some people that are kind of coming out of the woodworks. I don't want to know if I'd call it ass kissing, but definitely reaching out that I've never talked to in my life.
That's really funny. I had to ask that, but that was another one too. Are turtles being given out now as are people coming to the TTPG now because of this program? And time will tell more how that shakes out because they want turtles. And then in our chat that we were discussing whether or not that's a bad thing or not. And I personally am of the camp that it's not bad because, those people that just come in who you don't know yet, like you're not going to be giving them the radiated tortoise hatchlings necessarily, but you could build up to that, right? I mean, people get an opportunity to prove themselves with something.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you start giving away free of anything, you're going to get some people that are just here, one and done. You'll never see them again. So that's kind of where the decision-making process goes and really figuring out who's the best hands to give them to. But yeah, I mean, like I said, with anything you're giving away for free, there's going to be people that just pop in, want free animals, and leave. But on the reverse side of that, we're starting to meet a lot of new members who in my opinion, are fantastic turtle keepers, and I can see them staying around. I think you have the quote, people come to get into turtles for the animals and then they stay for the people. And it's exactly true. There's just so many great people in this community, and I'm hoping that's the real reason they stick around. And time will tell. Once we get this going for a couple of years, we'll see how many people really stick around. But we'll find out.
Love it.
So Cameron, having been on the receiving end of this program, I can say that I truly feel like honored and that I'm trusted in being able to keep the animals that was offered to me,
What turtles did you
first and
get?
foremost, Ceberrachiella crassicolis.
Oh, I forgot.
Oh,
about that.
Sweet Crassies. I love Crassies.
Crassies.
Yeah, I had a bad experience like 6 years ago with some wild caught animals, and I always wanted to work with them again, but I wanted to wait for Captain Bread, and
what a bunch of
fun.
nerds! What a bunch of nerds you guys are.
I've worked with them a bunch with Joshua Sukanik's stuff, so they're great animals. Love them.
Kevin drops the 17-syllable scientific name, and then Steve was like, "Oh, Crassies."
and they're a little roll switch, right?
Yeah.
When I started, I knew no scientific names.
All right. To his point, though, it is a lot of responsibility. If you're getting chosen to receive animals, you want to do everything you can to make sure you're taking care of those animals because you've been entrusted to. So it comes with a good amount of responsibility. So I appreciate that, Kevin.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Actually, I do have a question.
Hit them with
Can it only be animals that, for instance, that I produce, or if I just have animals that I'm looking to move out that I'm not looking to keep, I can donate them?
Yeah, any of them. Like I was mentioning before, a lot of the animals that come into the TTPG are, people's old pets or condensed collections or maybe confiscated animals. That's why I like keeping this list together because, even if it is, a common snapping turtle or a pink-bellied side neck, there's someone out there that'll want to work with it. And they may not be everybody, but the whole goal is setting up assurance colonies of all species, not just the rare ones or the endangered ones. And going back to it, doesn't have to necessarily even be animals you're producing. if there's a lone Cora pictorata sitting out there somewhere, I'd like to get them into the right hands to reproduce and make more of them. We need it.
It's awesome.
I like what you did there.
Yeah.
I do. Kev, thank you so much. That's time. That's 10 minutes. Yeah.
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 That was fast. Cam, you deserve so much more time than that. So here's what I want to do. We're going to have you on soon as a guest to talk more about this project. This was
We'd love to hear more.
A nice little teaser and a little, mini update, but we'll have a bigger update. We'll be able to talk about this and you and everything else. But you are
awesome.
Incredible. I'm so grateful that in the last year plus or so that you and I have been able to talk more and get to know each other more. I just think you're the bee's knees, and I love the work you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Last thing, Michael said on the chat that in the last 6 months you moved 90 animals out to different people. That's so amazing.
He said that already. He said that.
Oh, I missed it. I'm so sorry.
I kind of skimmed through it, but yeah, it was a lot.
Sorry.
Oh gosh, Kevin Minto.
Thanks for having me,
This is
guys.
a professional.
Yeah.
He's been here for 70.
Cameron,
He's been here for
so
70
much.
episodes, folks. 70 episodes still.
So I don't know.
And just
if
like
our guests know what's happening.
This is Royal
They don't
Rumble.
know.
Oh.
Whoa.
Whoa. Hi, guys.
Whoa,
Good evening.
whoa. Oh my gosh.
Congrats.
Just when you thought we couldn't get any sexier. Michael Fathubaswamy is
And
here.
you have been following Cam. That's kind of harsh, but
That's hard, yeah, right? How are you
Yeah.
gonna do that?
I mean,
That's rough.
he's just talked about everything, all the awesome stuff that's happening. But I mean, congrats, 100 episodes. I think, Anthony, you mentioned at the start that people told you that can't be done. It's a lot of work. But I will get names later. I want to know who said that. But yeah,
I think it
Can I
was
throw
you,
a quick
actually.
question out?
I think it was you actually, but it was a while ago, so it was different. Now,
I
you
didn't
get up
know
to
back then
episode
how
90,
stubborn you are. Yeah.
it was more when we were at like episode 20 you said it, but I don't expect you to remember. It's okay.
No, it's a lot of work. It's not just hopping on and like making the magic happen. So I have a lot of respect for all of you for doing this for as long as you've done. Well deserved. Congrats.
I literally just teared up. I'm not even kidding. I love you so much. You know that already.
All right.
This is one of the best people. I just want to say as a precursor to this, like we've got a lineup of great guests here that we're going to chat with briefly, obviously, but Michael is just one of those people who is, I'm not going to say he's like the best person because I have a better vocabulary than that. I just have to work at it a little bit. He's extremely selfless. And we just talked to Cam and obviously the work that he's doing for no gain, basically, besides just being able to be a little nosy, for lack of a less broad term or less blunt term. But Michael, very selfless. Michael, I trust you more than I trust myself is what I'm trying to say.
You're too kind. One of these days we need to have the conversation about implicit bias and all that, but we'll save that separately.
You tell me.
Yeah.
So I actually was going to say the same thing to him pretty much, but it was going to go like this. Michael, after knowing you for several years now, I can confidently say that you're the nicest man in Turtles. So my question to you is this. How do you keep up such a positive demeanor?
I think we have talked about this before. People who came before us and who are still here, not to think like I'm talking about somebody who's done. A lot of people before who been in this hobby much longer, they've showed us this way or showed me this way. I mean, Paul, he just recently, if you follow him on Facebook, one of his breeding loan programs, I think, fell apart. Somebody was saying, this is why you never do it. But if you remember his response, he's like, no, I have made friends with whom it works, and that's why you do. So continue focusing on what works. There's always going to be people, who are going to disappoint you. But I don't want to be focusing on that and letting them ruin my day. It's as simple as that. Yeah.
Well, I'm happy to know you, buddy.
Likewise, man. Likewise. You got to make it the trip so we can say that to each other in person. But yeah.
I just got to figure out how to not work in retail anymore, then it'll happen.
Yeah.
Just don't count on him, and then one day he's going to show up and shock the world, and it's going to be great, glorious.
Well, so we've teased this idea, right? Anthony's got to open his backyard, and now he's got a nice greenhouse. So he's got to open his house for a weekend trip, camping in the backyard, whatever style that is. And just that we'll
go swimming in the pond.
Right?
I mean, how soon can you get here?
Yeah, you come and visit, and we'll build a whole. If you build it, they will come. But you come and visit, and we'll build the whole get together around
We'll
you.
make it happen. Is Steve gonna show up for that? Steve always.
I think he would.
Yeah.
It's like a lot easier to drive to Connecticut than it is to fly to Arizona in the middle of November during school, and your conference is always like this close to my wedding anniversary.
I keep telling you, make it a gift for your wife. Bring her over. But you just
beautiful, romantic. It's romantic.
That'd be a lot of fun. Yeah, we should do it.
So she went to the first TSA conference I was at, which was in Tucson in 2015. So we hooked a little bit of vacation into the beginning of that, but that's really tough during the school year. 2 personal days per year, 2.
Oh man,
that teacher life, baby.
And that's not enough because with where you're coming from, you take Wednesday off, and that becomes a travel day for you. Yeah, it's more than 2 days. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, easy. Yeah.
I want to ask. Can I ask Michael something?
Yeah.
I want to ask. So we talk about the conference all the time. That's what we spoke about when we had you on as a guest on the podcast 3 years ago, maybe.
Yeah.
About 2.5 years, something like that. Time flies when you're having fun. But you've got this new venture that's been going really well for probably going on 2 years, 1.5 years at least. With the Friday, once a month Friday meet a member live stream with the TTPG, and I love it. I love I love it. I'm always there. I'm always active in the chat. I really enjoy it, and I'm not lying, and this is nothing against anyone else, but my favorite part is you, because I think you do a really good job of facilitating the conversation. You have good things to say, really thoughtful comments and everything, and it seems like you really enjoy it. So I just want to say I'm really happy. I want to ask you about
like
that.
Like a buddy Cameron mentioned, it's a lot of pressure because I'm very protective of our members and our guests who show up, and I have the responsibility to make sure that what I know of them comes across properly in that platform within that short time, and how things can get distorted, a comment that's made without people having the full context. So it's a lot of pressure. But yeah, I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed sticking with it. One of these days I might pawn it off on someone else, just like we did with the CPP. But I don't think we are there yet. Yeah. You have been to the conference. There's so many wonderful people and very little time. Even though I spend almost nearly a full week in Arizona these days, when I go to the conference, it still doesn't seem like enough time to sit and catch up and get to understand someone enough where you can appreciate and actually take your appreciation of that person to a whole different level. And that program has allowed us to do that. So I'm thankful for that opportunity. Yeah.
I love it. I can tell. I think it shows.
Thank you.
Come on, Peanut Gallery. You got nothing for Michael?
Yeah, this is awkward.
I assumed we were all going to, each person would throw one at him.
Oh, yeah.
But with that said, Michael, big plans for the rest of the evening?
Looking for eggs. So I'm keeping an eye on my cameras. I got my eyes on my wood turtles. I think I shared in private earlier. The first clutch was laid yesterday, and that's the very first species I hatched. So I always look forward to it.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
How many cameras do you have?
That's always fun for me. Go ahead, Emily.
Oh, how many cameras do you have that you're looking at and watching right now?
I've got 3 and more on the way because I've got enclosures all over. Anthony probably knows the drill. And a lot of my setups, much like Chris Leone's setups, are large, and they're not as beautiful as Chris's. I should clarify real quick, but they're large, and so finding the nest, if I'm not looking, is I miss it, and then I'll find hatchlings later if I'm lucky. Yeah.
That's always an interesting one too. There's certain people that I know who have hatched really cool species as their first. Mine was spotted turtles, which is one that I'm very proud of. But wood turtles is cooler, and then Steve Enders takes the cake. I think,
absolutely, right? Yeah.
Four-eyed turtles. Yeah.
First species ever.
It's
yep.
pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Right? That's pretty crazy. I don't know who can compete with that. If you know anyone, let us know in the chat. If there's somebody who like hatched a Sulawesi forest turtle as their first turtle or something like that. But it's pretty tough to beat a 4-eyed turtle as your first hatchling.
Well, now I want to go and ask Jeremy Thompson what was the first species he hatched.
Yeah.
And I mean, of course, he's been in the hobby for so long with different reptiles and all. I'm sure he's got a corn snake or something back there when he was, even before he learned how to ride a bicycle. But I want to learn. I want to find out what was the first Kilonian species he hatched.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one for like the TTPG chat on Facebook too.
But
for sure.
I mean, you and I have been talking. You know what species I'm going to get excited about this year? A stinkpot hatchling. Man, you will hear it in connecting it. Trust me. So that's what
that was the first species I ever hatched out.
There you go.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, so I didn't breed it though. I found a predated
yesterday.
nest and I took the egg home and I hatched it out.
Yeah.
That was like
that's cool.
He was Egbert.
Aww.
Egbert, of course.
Like
we were just talking about. I have one egg right now, and I'm really hoping that I can hatch it. I've never hatched a species before, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Is that 10 minutes again? We're over 10 minutes with my.
It is.
Darn it.
Time flies, right?
You deserve so much more time than that. I love you so much.
Thanks for having me. And again, here's to the next 100. Keep rocking, guys.
Aw,
Take
thank
care.
you.
Thanks, Michael. Appreciate it.
Nice
We'll have you on for a full one too.
Yeah.
Thank you, Steve. Nice seeing you all again. Bye.
You too, brother.
Bye. That was fun.
Oh gosh,
Yeah.
it just
Best.
brings a tear to my eye. Oh, yes! Boom, boom.
Hi.
Oh my gosh.
Are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes, but I want you to play a guitar though. I want to hear that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm actually in the only room of the house right now that's not loud, so that's why I'm in here. Everywhere else is very loud right now.
I love it.
So the guitar room is
How
quiet,
you doing?
which makes no sense.
It is a bit of an oxymoron. Yeah, that's great. Oh, how you doing, Chris? Long time no chat.
I'm doing good. I just got done dropping my son off at Scouts, and I got to get him in about a half hour. So I have a little time.
Okay, all right. You got plenty of time, yeah, because we're gonna kick you off in 10 minutes. We're being really good at this limit.
No, that's okay.
It's hurting my heart because it's like once you get into the conversation, it's like okay, bye. Yeah. So I haven't talked to you since right after Hurricane Ian.
Right.
I'm just jumping right into it because we only have 10 minutes, right? So right after Hurricane Ian and what had happened, obviously down there in that area, I don't know, like, is there an update for how things are going?
Yeah.
Sorry to bring it to that dark and not fun place.
I'm dealing with this on a daily basis. I was even at work over the weekend. We had a major hurricane hit some of the islands in Southwest Florida. I primarily work off of Sanibel Island, but I also work on other islands there in Pine Island Sound, and we do lots of research on reptiles, especially turtles and snakes. But we had radio transmitters on a lot of our turtles out there, so we got to get some really good data on what turtles do during hurricanes and what happens to them. And the islands are a mess right now. It's just it's gonna take years for it to get back to normal.
Wow.
I'm
so sorry to hear it.
The thing that I can say is that turtles, some turtles, especially terrestrial turtles, like say gopher tortoise and box turtles, do better in hurricanes than houses and condos.
That's
you can
a plus
imagine
from our perspective.
if you can imagine a storm surge that is from 8 feet up to maybe 13, 14 feet coming up and totally annihilating any houses on the first story or any condos on the first story, like all the contents of all those houses ending up in the middle of an island so that it's hollow in those condos. And then the turtles that are right by the condos are still there. Didn't move.
Wow.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Everyone always asks, what did the gopher tortoises do? Well, we don't know exactly what they did, but what I can tell you is they didn't move. So imagine that there's burrows near the beach, and those burrows go a couple feet, 3 feet at most in depth, because Sanibel is not very elevated, and 8 to 10 to 12 feet of water goes on top of that. And what do those animals do? The only thing that I can think of, I wish I had GoPros on these turtles. And that's all I wish. But when the water came down and we came back, a lot of the burrows were gone, but the tortoises were walking around, and we know these tortoises. So did they stay underwater the whole time? Did they hang on to a tree? Anyone that knows a gopher tortoise knows that they don't have the arms to hold on to a tree. I mean, it basically goes like this, and that's it. So these burrows also can hold air pockets. Like, imagine if a burrow goes down and goes up a little bit,
it
you can have a little divot. And, it's not impossible to think that these tortoises held their breath, just use the oxygen that they had to withstand that, because they're still there. The water was
them knowing instinctively a little bit at the top of air that they can do.
So imagine that the water in the areas that got hit the worst, was above the land for about 12 hours, maybe 14 hours.
Wow.
And those animals didn't leave. Now, inevitably, I'm sure some drowned. I'm sure some of them got displaced, but we did our annual gopher tortoise surveys in January, where every year we normally do it in November. It just wasn't possible. And we have 20 years of data on 5 sites, and only one of those sites showed a loss of tortoises.
That's really impressive.
Wow. Yeah.
This has to be groundbreaking information.
Oh yeah,
too.
and
Well, I look forward to the publications and stuff that come out.
A lot of the talks I've been doing a lot of talks lately, is on what wildlife did. Well, at the TSA, I'll be talking about what all the turtles on the island did. And some of them are not as successful as the others. Like the terrestrial turtles did much better than the aquatic turtles. But the turtles that estivate did much better than the turtles that are fully aquatic. So
Really?
I've got all kinds of data on that.
When you say turtles that estivate versus turtles that are fully aquatic, we're talking about different species. So we're talking about diamondback
chicken
terrapins.
turtles.
Okay, versus
Chicken turtles
mud
and
turtles.
Florida mud turtles.
Yep. Okay.
Turtles that spend a good part of the year underground, basically doing nothing, and they're only out during the wet season when all the temporary wetlands fill up. Turtles that are mostly aquatic, like soft-shell turtles, did not do very well at all. And what you have to think about is these turtles went from fresh water, which is 0 parts per thousand.
Correct.
On Sanibel, we call fresh water anything up to 3 or 4 parts per thousand. It's not really fresh, but it's fresh enough to have all different types of animals. But many of these areas went to 15. Some of them went to 22, whereas saltwater is between 28 and 35. Everything in the middle is considered brackish. So turtles that spend a lot of time in the water did not do very well. Turtles that spend at least some time on land did much better.
Wow. Wild.
Yeah. Sliders, though, of course, we have invasive sliders out there. They seem to be more salt tolerant than most things. So, if I go by a water body and I see a bunch of dead cooters on the side, I can pretty much assume this is from saltwater inundation. And then there's sliders out there basking. So sliders have a bit of a tolerance. Well, as we know from sliders, they have a tolerance for just about anything, which is why they're an issue all over the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like to think that other turtles are as can bounce back like sliders do, but yeah, totally. The water could boil and the sliders will still be there.
Yep.
Chris, I have a quick question for you.
Yep.
Earlier, you had mentioned the wanting of like putting a GoPro on the gopher tortoises, which isn't really as feasible. I understand because of the protected animals. However, if you knew a hurricane was coming, could you theoretically like mount camera devices in the burrows so that way you can see what's going on inside of them?
I mean, I've got the permits to attach things to the turtles. It's just that we didn't know that this was going to hit us at this extreme. Because what happens down here, and it happened in 2004, and it just happened again, is that we have a hurricane that's not going anywhere near us, and then as it gets closer, starts veering off. So now we know that any hurricane that they say is going to hit the Eastern Panhandle or north of Tampa is probably going to hit us. That's what we've seen. And we got, a lot of people got caught with their pants down. Yeah. We prepped for hurricanes, but we did not prep for almost a Category 5. It was just a few miles per hour under a Category 5, which a Category 4 is even catastrophic. So we were just about at a 5.
Wow, that's incredible.
So, I mean, the natural habitat where it's still as it should be has bounced back good. I mean, it's doing very well. The areas that are artificial, where we've planted things that probably shouldn't be there, even though they are natives, those did not do very well. Because what happened when the storm surge came down, it left a layer of the floor of the Gulf of Mexico on top of everything, on top of all the plants. So a layer of sludge. And then the water, that salt water, just sat on all the conservation lands, and all the native trees that are there, but in excess, there shouldn't be that many trees. They just sat in salt water for over a month, and they all died. So now we're in the process of trying to remove a lot of these trees, because these islands out there in Pine Island Sound are supposed to be mostly grass. But because people have moved on the island and, a wildfire starts, we put it out. In a natural time, it would have burned up a lot of the island, and that's what kept that island to be grass. So what's happened is a lot of the hardwoods have come in and taken over. So this hurricane hit, a catastrophic hurricane that dumped all this salt water on the island, and those trees are just not adapted to live in, salt water. So we have a huge mess.
Now, I didn't mean to spend all 10 minutes talking about this, so I'm sorry, but it was definitely an update I wanted just because I care about you. And
No, that's good. I mean,
is there any?
I'm going to be doing this talk for at least a year, so.
We have to kick you off now. Is there anything you want to say that you actually want to say?
I mean, I think you guys are doing a great job. I do listen to all of your podcasts. I'm not always there as it's happening. It just happens to be on Monday when I'm supposed to be out. But I always listen to it on the way to work on the next day. And Anthony, what happened to your other podcast with your wife? It's been months here.
Ooh. I hope, you know what? She may be watching right now. I hope she is, so that she heard that. Because I miss it. I miss doing that with her. But it's,
because I can relate to a lot of that. So.
Who can't?
I appreciate you. I appreciate you so much. I always felt like there was a need for it, and then here we are now, not giving it to
thank you.
We have to get back to that.
Happy to be on. So,
thanks, Chris.
Thank you.
Happy 100.
Thanks, Chris. Thank you.
So
Keep
much.
up the good work.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Such big fans of yours.
All right. Bye-bye.
I love this.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Whoa. Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you.
Yeah.
Hey, good.
Mr. Big Time.
Can I get an autograph?
Oh my gosh. I thought, wow. I don't even know.
I miss you guys.
What to say.
Weird.
Yeah, I know, man. Like, the room looks great, man. But yeah, I seriously miss everything.
That's why I texted you. What was that? Like 2 weeks ago or whatever. I was just standing in the yard, and it was a beautiful midday, and I was like, I'm just gonna text Steve right now and see how he's doing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's sweet. I didn't know you guys were texting. You guys didn't even tell me.
No, we didn't know we needed your permission, so we.
Well, I didn't want to have to give you permission, but I would have liked to hear, like, hey, I got a text from Chris today. It was really sweet.
Nosiest guy out.
Steve.
I think Anthony wants a text too. So.
He gets them.
No. I get texts from both these guys. Not all the time, not every day, but quite often. I bother Chris all the time, actually. I still ask Chris questions.
And I still don't know how to answer them. So.
It's 2009 over here.
Chris, it looks so good back there. I thought it was the green screen at first.
Oh, thanks, man. It's it's sometimes it's a nightmare, but it's like right now all that glass is fogged up and it's driving me nuts. You guys know how it is.
Well, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
And
So
I'm absolutely loving your channel.
thank you.
My
That's
kids watch all
Casey.
the videos. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah, she does a great job with the production value. It's insane.
He's
I always thought, like, I like to take credit as somebody who early on, and I hope that you'd agree with this, said, Chris, you need to be on YouTube more. Like, you've made some videos, they're good.
That was this guy that stands about 8.5 feet tall.
Yes.
Very
okay.
handsome.
I want to make sure.
Yep.
I want to take. Thank you so
Handsome.
much. I'm
That
blushing.
was you.
I want to take
That was
credit
you.
where I can. No, but I still, even with all of that and feeling like he needs to be on YouTube, I still could never imagine how well like everything has come out. Like your stuff is incredible.
Thank you.
Incredible.
And honestly,
Right?
I'm not just saying this to plug her, but it's really all her. You know, if you look at the videos that I was making by myself for a while, it was, nothing compared to she's just got so much talent and so much patience. And people see the finished product, but really it's a lot of, I do this thing where I'm talking and I know what I want to say, I know a thing or six about the animals, and I'm on a roll, and then I get there and then that's it. And she's just like, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't even know where I am right now, but yeah, she, so I feel bad for her because a lot of times she's got to really do some work,
Yeah, to clean up. Yeah, and because you talk so fast too.
Yeah.
It's difficult to edit when you're jumping from thing to thing to thing because there's not like that 2-second pause to clip it cleanly.
Yeah.
Remember when we were
She does
doing?
great with it, though.
Remember when we were doing the 1 minute thing, Anthony?
Yeah.
Where we would timed it, and Chris would like get off twice as much as anybody else in that 1 minute.
Crush it.
That was
Yes, we did that on the podcast.
Rapid fire.
Yeah.
What a great time to
We
reminisce.
used to have segments.
Yeah, and 1 minute to talk about like a species that you're excited about, and Chris would put in 2,000 words for our every 100.
Well, let's do it right
It
now.
was
insane.
Let's do it right
Oh,
now.
no,
Chris, 1
no.
minute. What are you excited about?
What am I excited about?
Yeah, what
Hey,
are
wait,
you-
wait.
yeah, what are you
I'll open a
excited about?
timer and I'll cut him off. I'll just cut him off. Hard stop.
Yeah.
Come on.
All right.
Ready?
Just kick him off the show.
What are you excited about? Go.
Oh, I finally got to go see bog turtles in the wild. It took me about 40 years, and my boss was like, "Hey, it's time for you to go see bog turtles because we want to get you on the bog turtle list because you're a turtle guy, this, that, and the other thing." So we went up north and to these secret spots, undisclosed locations, and I found 17 bog turtles in one shot. It was pretty amazing. It was unbelievable, and I basically blacked out. You know that scene in Old School where Will
Old
Smith
School.
or Will? Oh my God, Will Ferrell is
Will Ferrell.
he's debating and he blacks out. That's exactly what happened to me. I don't know what happened. All of a sudden, the day was over, but I found 17 bog turtles and 17 data sheets were in my face later on. And I don't know how long that was, but it was exciting.
We have no
You
response.
got more time. You
That
got
was
37
perfect.
seconds so far.
That's
37
30
seconds.
Wow.
Oh, come on. So,
Exactly.
process,
All right.
17 bog
Well-
turtles. We had a big talk. We had a great time. We put our muck boots on. We walked back through the bog. We got in the car. We went out to dinner. Bob Ashley bought us some mean cheesecake and mojitos and margaritas. And we had a great time talking about all kinds of things to do with turtles, tortoises, and other reptiles on the way home until, and you know what? That's about when I passed out in the car. So I don't remember. I think I'm good.
Yeah.
And stop there.
That was
You
good.
totally did. Like a kid.
I don't remember if I told you
Slept in
this
the
in
car ride.
text when you messaged Chris, but we found some at a wood turtle site that the state didn't know were there. So Pennsylvania now knows about another, at least a small little segment where there could be some bog turtles,
That's
thanks
awesome.
to our workout with wood turtles. So
Man, it was,
How
it
cool
was
is
so
this?
surreal. It only took me 40 years, but my boss, Bob Zappalordi, he was like, hey, make sure your schedule's clear next week because we gotta go look for him. And I'm like, okay, I'm excited and moving
Yeah.
things around. to
Don't
make
get your
sure.
hopes up. Might not
I
find
actually
one.
had to get someone else at work to cover me for a pine snake drift fence that day, and I was like, dude, please cover me so I can go do this. And he was like, yeah, man, go for it. And never thought it was going to be like that, you know.
Yeah, the stupid part with those permits to actually be able to do bog turtle research is you almost have to find 17 in one time out. Otherwise, the rolling count will keep you below the number you need to find for that process forever. It's like and like unless you're lucky enough to, your company that you're working for now like does some of this work, it's really hard to spend the volunteer time necessary otherwise to rack up those numbers. It's really difficult to actually become permitted to work on these things.
It's serious commitment, to get on the list and what you have to do. But regardless of where it goes from here, I'm just beyond thankful. Unbelievable experience.
17 is the number you come up with when you're like full of it. You're like, we found like 17.
Dude, we walked into this site and Bob's like, all right, start looking. And I literally went like this and I went, there's one, but that's not exactly what I said. I'll keep it clean. Oh man. So
that's awesome. Can I ask a question? Selfish, not shellfish. Selfish. I don't even like seafood. Sure. Okay. I want to know. I'm going to come and visit you soon, and I would like to know if we could figure out a way that I could be in a Garden State Tortoise YouTube video.
Well, I had already reached out to you about doing something like that at one point, so sure, why not?
I don't remember that. I think you made that up.
No,
I have to start doing sit-ups, get in shape.
I'm gonna set that one out, and you're gonna talk.
Ooh.
Oh my god, that's not gonna happen. So I finally got to see bog turtles, 17 bog turtles, and put on some boots. How was that?
Some boots.
Put on some boots. Wow, that was rough. I'm embarrassed.
Oh, I can't wait for that episode to come out. We're all going to be watching,
It's going to be great.
That's going to be really good,
Mm-hmm.
We'll switch roles.
I'd like to do,
And we have to wear the Spengler eye shirts.
Oh, I'm not into the Spengler eye shirt anymore. I'm way too big
neither
for
do
that.
I.
We could do those European cuts are really slimming.
We could cut the Spengler eye out and like glue it onto like a big Walmart T-shirt,
That I would do. We could do like a one where like I help you get things off the top shelf and then you help me tie my shoes because I can't bend over. Like
that's not the great answer.
The turtle is this the turtle equivalent of Bert and Ernie?
Yeah, it is kind of.
Aww, it is.
It might
Definitely is. Definitely
Big
is.
Bird and Elmo.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh man.
What else you got? What do you got for Chris, guys?
Yeah.
So, Chris, as one of 3 men on the show that all have 2 daughters, what has the past year or two been like raising those girls up in the world of turtles and tortoises and, the field work?
It's been unbelievable, but insane. It's been complete insanity. It's never, there's really no downtime. And it's tough, you feel guilty, I'm sure you guys know how that feels, and, there's always so much to do, like, especially this time of year, working in the field, trying to film. It's nesting season. I got turtles nesting right out there, and, but I'm blessed. I'm lucky that I don't force anything on them, I want them to love it, and in fact, like, sometimes I even pull them back a little bit from it, and they actually make it impossible to film sometimes, because they want to, they want to do their thing and they don't understand. But they, as long as they grow up respecting wildlife and having an appreciation for it, that's all I care about. I don't expect them to do this on the level that I'm doing it, or, the stress that comes with it, You
don't know. You might have the next like little Bindi Irwins.
Who knows? Yeah. I mean, they really do love it. They have their own turtles, they have their own snakes, and they're just great. They're fantastic with the animals. They really, really are.
It's awesome.
But it's it certainly has been a challenge. So, but.
My wife would like to know why you always film yourself laying on the ground in the videos, and how come there's never any footage of you trying to get
Actually, we filmed a terrapin video today because the terrapin started early, and we were down there today, and It's so funny. Like we had a terrapin crossing a really treacherous spot. So we got her, we processed her. It was one that we had a couple of years ago. She was already pit tagged, and we moved her to a dirt path, where it's safe for her to nest. And we were filming all this, and I put her down, and I've never seen this before. She instantly just started trying to nest. So I looked at Casey. I said, I'm going to David Attenborough this right now. And she was like, just go do it. So I literally laid down on the ground with this terrapin's back legs, like right here. And I'm like, just narrating its nesting behavior. And I'm like, and it was weird. I was like, now she's going to blah, blah. And I'm like, oh my God, she's doing it. This is so weird. Like, how is this going this well right now? But I think she actually did film me getting up, which if you watch that video, I'm sure it'll be something to laugh at. Things are starting to hurt a little bit.
Yeah, she's going to be very.
Is there a lot of
excited to watch it.
grunting
I'll have her.
involved?
I would maybe a squeal or two. Maybe, but
Okay.
yeah.
I'm going to have her text Casey about that.
Yeah, we'll make sure that is there.
And just like that, we're kicking you
Yeah.
off.
Yeah.
Oh my
Everyone
gosh.
say goodbye to Chris.
You used to be a guest.
That was quick and easy,
Love
right?
you
Now you're
guys.
gone.
Yep.
Later, buddy.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
I love you.
Whoa, look at that hair.
Oh, you like that?
Them locks. All right, so I think it's only fair that I give the intro here. Everybody, this is Charles
Look at
Lee.
this.
He is he's a longtime friend of
What's
mine.
up, Charles?
In fact, I've known Charles longer than I've not known Charles at this point in my life.
Yeah.
And I'm truly proud to be your friend. You're a great man, great father, great husband. And we co-own animals together, and there's really nobody I trust more in my personal life than you. So I'm happy to have you on, buddy.
And likewise. It's an honor to be on this podcast. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
What's up, Charles?
Hi,
How you doing,
see you, man.
Charles is a fellow reptile and turtle
Yeah,
lover.
I am indeed.
It's just, and one of my favorite things. Let me tell you this. Are you ready?
Mhm.
One of my favorite things. So it's only right for episode 100. 100 we do this. One of my favorite things to do is to introduce people to people that they should know but don't know, or people that are great people. Like in Ted Lasso, there's a saying that he uses where he introduces two people and he says, like, congratulations, you each just met a really awesome person. So I really enjoy being able to introduce people to our audience who they may not have known before. So no pressure, Charles, but you're an awesome person, so we're excited to introduce you.
Thank you, Anthony. I appreciate that. I really do.
And I was thinking maybe we can get some dirt on Kevin.
That sounds dirt.
Yeah, that's what we're really here for.
That was our biggest question. Is, can you tell us what's the most embarrassing story that you could tell about Kevin?
It's really
What's the dirt?
Told you guys.
Work stuff. Oh, man.
You can think about it after. You don't have to answer it
Yeah.
now, but just give it to us before the end of your
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. So Emily,
Okay.
Charles is from Stratford originally too.
Get out. Okay,
Yeah, I'm a
that's
Stratford
where I
kid.
am.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you go
I
to
went to
Bunnell or
Bunnell for a
Stratford?
couple years.
Yes, me too.
Nice. What year did you graduate?
That was in 08.
08? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm an old person, so 2000 for me.
Okay. All right.
Not that old.
I love Stratford kids.
Just saying.
He's the oldest one on this chat right now.
I hit 41 this year.
Who's keeping track? You know.
Everybody over 40.
Yeah.
Your hair is beautifully black colored.
Like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all
and
natural. I've been
look
growing
like-
it out for like 3 years. I'm gonna donate it.
Once
Yeah,
upon
me.
a time, I had hair that was that long, but that was a long time
Right?
ago.
That long, that black. Like I'm embarrassed.
I don't know you very well, Steve, but I think I've seen pictures of you with long hair.
I think I showed one once. It was like,
Yeah.
it was really before I got into like deep into the turtle stuff though. So nobody ever like saw me in person that way. It was before I even got married. So like I chopped my hair off in 2008, I think, to begin, so yeah, it was a long time ago, but I've shown that picture around. I also had a beard about, goatee about yay long, at the same time. So I had that full like jazz musician look going on, pulled that hair back and ponytail, long goatee,
No, you've aged extremely well, man. You look exactly the same since I first met you.
Appreciate it.
You look great.
Yeah, we're gonna need to see a picture of that really long goatee at some point now. So
I'll make sure you get to see that at some point, Emily. I do not have it at the ready at this point, but I will make sure you see that. Lisa always hates that I actually have access to old pictures like that because she doesn't like the look.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Listen, I'm not going to talk to Charles the whole time about male grooming.
Yeah.
Okay, as much as I want to, and I could spend 10 minutes talking about that with no problems. I mean, he was asking for it coming on with those luscious locks, but what's your favorite turtle project that you keep? I know you don't have a million, but what's your favorite? It could be anything. Your Ready or Slider collection.
I really love. I love the Aldabras, but that's just kind of a gimme. But I really like these scorpion mud turtles I'm keeping.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna say that.
They're pretty awesome animals. When you look at them from like 3 feet away, you're like, oh, it's a brown turtle, and then you get close to it, and you're like, wow, this looks like a Van Gogh painting. You know, when you look at their faces, you know.
The face, like
I love them.
Yeah.
They're gorgeous animals.
Yeah, Anthony, those came from Ryan Bond. Ryan was a pretty prolific breeder with those, and he just was very nicely just gave them out to whoever wanted them.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah,
animals.
I have some of those here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what are they sexable?
One of them is a big female. It's enormous. The other ones I think might still be a little too small. To sex right now, but I don't know. The bigger of the other smaller two I have is looking male.
Interesting. Okay, I was just wondering because I have a few of them here too.
But I also love redfoots. I mean, redfoots are like they're like the closest you're gonna get to a dog in turtle form. You know? Like they're so friendly and like they see you, like they
chase
recognize
after you for a banana.
They walk up to you, they say hello, feed me. You know, like I like redfoot tortoises a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're easy to love.
They really are. They're.
You know, there was social learning research done with redfoots, and it kind of makes sense with their personality that they might be one of the turtles that does, you know, learn from each other and do some things like that. You know, with the way we compare their personality to dogs. You know.
It's really interesting. I've never kept redfoots. I've had them, you know, very temporarily here or there, just for a couple of days when they're on their move from one person to another with me in the middle. But that's it. Redfoots, I don't want to have to try to keep a humidity loving species in the Northeast. Is that something that you struggle with? How do you? I kind of know the answer to that already, so it's a loaded question. But how do you keep them happy through the very dry winter months?
Greenhouse tents.
Oh.
Yeah, like a pen with a greenhouse tent over it, like those things you see on Amazon. You know, like $50, and they hold humidity very well.
And you said you keep Aldabras too?
Yeah, I got 2 little guys. They're in this is gonna sound kind of funny, but obviously I'm in Connecticut, so it's not optimal. But right now they're downstairs and they're in those ice house, those the ice fishing tents that you get.
Yeah.
So it's an ice fishing tent, and they're in there right now. And it's that thing holds humidity very well. You know, it's not bad. I mean, at some point I'm gonna have to, build like a barn or something outside. But right now for like probably the next 10 years, it's working pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. Really cool. You guys are crazy.
Yeah, a little bit.
Of you.
Listen,
all 3 of you, really. All 3 of you work with Aldabras. Just Steve and I don't.
I'll put it this way. I love working with the animals that I want to work with. I'm stuck in Connecticut, so while I'm gonna work with what I want. And when it's not beneficial for the animal anymore, if I can't move, then the animal will have to move.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that sounds like a really sad.
No, it's okay. It's
tragedy.
No, it's okay because I'm really appreciating watching these animals grow and getting to spend time with them. And it's it's an experience I'll never live amongst them really. So I'm enjoying it.
Mm-hmm. And that's how we got Fig, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, who has Fig? You have Fig?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Charles, Emily works at Riverside Reptiles.
Do you work at the? I'm like pointing at you like you can see me.
You.
You work at the place in
Enfield.
Enfield. Okay. Yeah. Awesome.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice. So
it's a great place.
You probably don't know this, but the first time I met Kevin, I was coming around the corner and I saw this gentleman leaning into our big tortoise pen. And I said something polite, but to the effect of, "Hey, you, get your hands out of the turtle pen." And he was just like, that's
that.
my turtle. And I was like, "Oh, sorry, who knew?" And what he was doing was he was bringing Fig over so that we could do an introduction and just make sure everyone got along. And of course, they got along great. And so Fig is still here. Yeah.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. He's
I
grown
gotta
a
put
lot.
my
So
kids
awesome.
there.
Yeah, definitely.
Charles, we'll make a date of it. I'll bring the girls with you.
Yeah, for sure. Right on. We'll even bring the
That
baby.
sounds awesome.
We'll bring Max.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So what? Everyone
That'll be fun.
We'll be
girls
able
except
to.
me. I got 3 boys.
Wow. Epic.
Yeah.
We're all the 5 people on here right now are all planning on hanging out together in less than a month.
Oh
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is correct. Oh, by the way, Anthony, you never actually told me about that picnic. I just responded like you did tell me, so that way it could confuse both of you.
Well, it worked. I'm like, man, that's really weird. How did I mess that up? It'll be fun. This is
Oh,
this
that's
is
priceless.
exciting. It's getting real.
You know, everybody, I only got invited because other people canceled.
Oh,
Oh.
man.
That's
That
not
means
true.
that I'm in the same
at
boat
all.
as you, Kevin.
No, you got invited late because you cancel everything. You weren't on the last podcast. Couldn't make it.
Retail,
We
man.
were supposed to be at a turtle talk. We were supposed to be at your turtle talk that became my turtle talk because you couldn't make it.
I know.
I'm a good friend. I love you. That talk went wonderfully yesterday.
I heard.
It went really well. He's another friend of yours. Like, I know all you. It's like all you guys grew up together when you were 14.
Yeah.
You, Charles, and these other people who I work with.
Yeah, David McCarthy.
And,
Oh yeah,
obviously-
Charles. He works with
Yeah.
Melissa Hamilton.
Oh no, I know that. I know that he works.
Oh,
with
okay,
Melissa.
okay.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, she's great. Amazing veterinary liaison. The best.
Me and Kevin were
I love her
destined
so
to be
much.
friends. If I never even moved to Shelton, like me and Kevin probably would have met at some point, just because we both skateboarded. So it would have happened. You know, that's
Well, both skateboarded, and then you probably would have bought reptiles from each
That's
other.
that's
I mean,
how it happened.
Well, you probably influenced each other
Yeah,
before, though.
we met skateboarding, and then I went to his house, and he had day geckos and tokay geckos.
Yeah.
And I love tokay geckos, but I was so scared of them. And he's just like, it's no big deal. And he just picked them up, and I'm like, that's like the most vicious lizard there is. And that size, that bite force.
the leeches are more vicious than tokay geckos, in my opinion.
Mm,
Leeches
yeah.
are very aggressive,
I'm with you on that one. They
Yeah.
can be a little intimidating.
especially at night when they're awake and around. Like I don't even bother like even going into the cage because I've been bitten by them before, and it doesn't hurt, but you bleed everywhere.
Oh
You know?
yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
They're like little gremlins. Yeah,
really
you turn
are,
the light
yeah.
on and you see them like, everywhere.
Well, Charles,
All right,
we got
we're
to
gonna
kick you off,
Charles
buddy.
off now.
Okay, kick me off.
Yeah, this is it.
Yeah.
All right,
You
man.
don't have an embarrassing story about Kevin?
Yeah.
Before
You got anything?
Man. No, I mean, candy
That's
cane.
it. All right, you're out.
That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say.
All right, guys.
All I
Well, he's
can
got to go.
Okay, I gotta go.
He's got to go.
All right.
Bye, Charles.
Uh,
Appreciate you, man.
that will only
Right
be,
to Kevin's
unfortunately,
face.
that'll only be good for anybody else that knows me that watches the show from my youth.
Hi, Andrew.
Oh my gosh. Andrew.
How's it going, guys?
Andrew,
Let's
Congratulations on the 100th episode.
thank you so
Let's-
much, buddy.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Yes. Andrew, you were one of our early guests. You were on like episode 9 or something obnoxious, like episode 10.
It was
I'm not
early.
very good on camera, so usually I try to stay away. It's been a while.
We got you early, but it's been a while. Yeah. And we just
Yeah.
reached 100 messages today in the Restream chat. How great is that? How fitting is that?
I feel like that's the most
Let's
we've
keep it
got.
going.
That's awesome.
Let's keep it going. Yeah. Andrew, I was gassing you up before we came on live, talking to, Emily and like just kind of giving a rundown of some of the people that we had invited to come on. And you, I said that you were one of the most prolific Colonian breeders in the entire country.
Mhm.
Well, I appreciate it.
Yeah. You,
Really nice to talk to you.
Yeah,
Emily.
it's nice to meet you. Yeah.
Watch you all the time, but never
Oh
talk
yeah.
to you.
oh, thank you for that.
Yeah.
Thanks for the compliment, Anthony.
Yeah,
probably
come on.
don't do as large of numbers as other people in certain species, but try to do quite a bit of different species.
Yeah.
So.
Yes.
So-
Yeah, for sure.
So, Andrew, what's next for you then?
So,
How do you scale further for yourself? with the animals you're keeping?
Just trying to stay consistent, making sure everything's healthy year after year, the numbers and everything matches up. Every year try to upgrade or reinvest and keep going further ahead. So in that aspect, it would be like square footage.
Okay.
I'm looking at another property to be able to continue growing.
That's awesome.
I love it.
So would it be something that you'd move to a bigger property and again, or would it be just adding another property where you'd basically just have a off-site so-called facility?
Kind of offsite, trying to get the neighbor behind us to sell his property.
Okay, that'd be cool.
Do it. So there is a property 2 houses down, so it's a little bit of a travel, but I think we can make that work.
I love that.
But, so much
By the way,
effort put into the first property. There's no way I'm moving out of here until
right. That's what I was figured, but I wanted to ask the question because I was curious. By the way, I looked it up, Anthony. It was episode 13.
I knew it was early.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wasn't it titled like
Episode
How to Run a Turtle
13.
Business or a Tortoise Business?
Yes. How to Run a Successful Colonian Business,
Yeah.
I think was the title of the episode.
Cool.
Yeah.
I love that.
Hard work and staying busy every day, nonstop.
Yeah, I mean, this man does not vacation.
Yeah, you can.
Try to, but
Who's going to take care of everything?
Yeah.
That's crazy. It's a labor of
last
love
year I
and
was
big time
able
labor.
to go to Daytona. That was pretty cool for a few days. So enjoyed that.
Yeah, when I saw you were going, I was like, "Holy crap, Andrew's leaving home."
Yeah. He did.
Yeah,
You
pretty
did go to
good.
Chris's at one point.
Say again?
You did go to Chris's at one point. When was that? Like 2015 or something like that.
Yeah, that was a long time ago too.
Because I'm having a little get together in about a month. I was just talking about, and I almost invited you just because you're like the only person I know that would be crazy enough to take a trip out just to come and say hi.
Definitely. I keep thinking the Turtle Room needs to put on an annual event, be able to get everybody together.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's kind of, we used to kind of do that a little bit at Chris's place, but yeah, it's it's Anthony's place might now have the best space to do it in, possibly.
Wouldn't it be amazing to have a little get together that included Riverside Reptiles and?
Yeah, we can host it
Yeah.
here. Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it. We have our giant classroom.
Your place is awesome.
Yeah.
It's beautiful, amazing classroom. I did a talk there last week. It was amazing. Like there were people when I got there, the doors were locked because it's after they close, and there were people waiting outside when I got there, like waiting for my turtle talk. Like, are you kidding me right now? I felt like Taylor Swift. This is amazing.
Yeah.
It was like 4 people that were waiting. Yeah. There were more than that in the talk, but there were like 4 people waiting for the doors to open. It was awesome.
Yeah. So Chris Leone, by the way, was episode 14, was his first appearance. Wow, so Andrew beat Chris by 1 episode.
OG.
On the podcast.
Chris and I have the same hat.
That's awesome. And Andrew. Yeah.
I noticed that.
I have to say, I've got a shipment in the mail right now that's coming from me to Andrew, and I'm freaking out about it. Is that okay to say?
Yeah, I was laughing in the background. I was gonna bring it up, but I was like, nah, I'll leave it alone.
I'm sorry. Hopefully you're okay with me bringing it up. But yeah, I'm a little bit nervous.
It's always nerve-wracking.
I look forward to hearing about the details off camera.
I've been sweating all day, man.
It's just crazy.
It's not.
Yeah, I'm actually sending a couple animals out tomorrow myself. So
it's always nerve-wracking when you send an animal over state lines through the mail. It's a little weird.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going from from a different climate to, from one climate to a very different climate. And, it's going to be 90 tomorrow there, and it's not that hot here yet. So trying to figure out what the best way to handle everything,
Yeah,
it's a real challenge.
In a box and shipping them out it's a little different. It'd be nice if it was local and just pass things off in person. But...
Yeah, totally. Yikes.
So Fig baby Aldabra that's now big, or who is Fig?
Yeah, Fig was a young Aldabra, the first one that I got from you. And ended up going to their facility in Connecticut.
Nice.
Yeah, he was like
that's awesome.
Bigger than a football, or around football sized when you brought him over. I feel like maybe a little bit bigger, but he has almost doubled in size. He's a monster now.
What does he weigh currently, roughly?
Off the top of my head, I want to say, do you remember what he was when you brought him? Because I was gonna say about 20 pounds.
Yeah, I was gonna say he'd probably be about like 10 when I brought him.
Yeah, so I want to say he's about 15, 20 pounds now. Yeah, he got big.
Okay.
Yeah, and we walk him outside every single day. He walks on his own. Fig is a little bit of a troublemaker. He likes to stop and eat every blade of grass on the walk outside. And yeah, but we love him. Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You do the tap stick method already?
The tap stick method? I don't know what that one is.
You just tap them on the back end with the stick lightly and they move forward.
Oh.
We do that with the larger aldabras to get them to go where we want them to go.
So yeah, we do just butt scratches and that gets them going.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. They love the butt pats. It gets them to put their butts in the air and then they finally walk forward. But Fig doesn't even like that. He does not respond to it. He lives with a rhinoceros iguana and they climb onto his back all the time because I guess that's the best spot in the house. And so he's so used to it that when you scratch his shell, he just ignores it now. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right on.
Mm-hmm.
Andrew, how many Aldabras do you guys have now? Part of the permanent collection.
2.4.
Wow.
Yeah, 2.4, and that's enough for us.
It's a lot of turtles.
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Space requirements, yeah.
How many people?
They lay a lot of eggs too, so even 4 of those would produce quite a lot of eggs.
How many people are actually producing Aldabras in the United States? I feel like it's low. I feel like there's still a lot that are imported, right?
So I know at least 5 people in Florida.
Okay, that's good to know.
I'm sure there's a couple in California and a couple in other states. So the guys in California, a few of them have so many that they've got it on lock. It's kind of like the Seychelles Islands, how many they produce. The United States is producing enough now to where we really don't need to import them islands, at least in my opinion.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think I'm about a year or two. I keep saying that, so probably a year or two away from producing myself.
Okay, awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Andrew,
You had some big ones when I was there before.
Quick question. What species do you produce the most of?
I know that.
So do I.
Number-wise, be sulcatas.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And are they being shipped like all over, or is that you do mostly like in the South?
It's all of the above: individual, retail, wholesale to other online stores, zoos and aquariums, exporting them to the Asian countries. Some European countries take them as well. There's quite a bit of demand for the sulcatas still.
Mm-hmm.
It's wild, yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me. But what do you say to people who think that sulcata shouldn't be bred anymore? I have to ask that question because Kevin asked the question.
Yeah.
The first question. It's Kevin's fault.
That's just what they can see in their world from their view and from their aspect. And a lot of times with those comments, it's kind of small-minded or not thinking broader. So if you have experience seeing the industry or the other countries, more worldwide aspect of it all, instead of just a city in one state where the Craigslist market or the rehoming market is real crazy. Most people just don't know. It's pretty amazing. The amount of people in the world versus the amount of animals being produced versus the countries, the ones that actually survive to adulthood, it's just pretty amazing. There's still a need and demand for them. Obviously, Africa has their problems socially, politically, and all of that. So at any point, could have issues in their native range. Look at Sudan right now. That country is going crazy with war. So.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say. The Sudan has bigger things going on than sulcatas, and the sulcata tortoise is critically endangered in the wild as well.
Isn't there?
If there was a species to say that it's been, commercial conservation through commercialization, Tom Crutchfield's phrase, it would be the sulcata.
Well, if you watch that Naked and Afraid TV show my wife loves, the first animals that they're able to find and consume is always a snake, a turtle, or a tortoise.
Mhm.
So in time of need, I wouldn't blame somebody for trying to live, but the turtles and tortoises and lizards and reptiles are the first animals to get eaten up, get taken away, easy accessibility. So just because something's heavily populated and prevalent now doesn't mean that a pandemic or some type of contagious disease that's going around in captivity with sulcatas right now pops up, wipes out 90% of it, and then you're back to square one, wishing that more were out there. So you never know.
Yeah.
It's interesting. We were talking about how it's kind of localized issue. I don't see as many sulcatas for adoption as I used to. And I don't see, that's just, again, personal experiences. I feel like the slider issue has gotten worse.
Everybody says the rescues are too full and they can't take them in anymore. But when I talk to these rescues and tell them, I could help out, they never have anything available. Or, I don't know if it's so much true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Andrew, what's got you really excited right now? Last question before we kick you off.
Greeks and subspecies. We've got some Tunisian Greeks, 2 different localities. I got blood work, DNA testing out in Europe right now in the Netherlands. I'm waiting for a result on that. So if that comes back good, that'd be awesome. Yeah.
That's cool.
Just maintaining what I have and making sure everything's good and on the up and up.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate you so much. I really do.
Yeah.
I can't wait till the next time I get to see you in person. And I know I speak for myself and for everyone here when I say thanks so much for joining us.
Next time you see me, I'll talk a little bit better. I had some dental work done recently, so I'm talking a little funny. Sorry about that.
No, you're good, buddy. This is great. Thank you.
No, you're feeling better.
Right. Well, happy 100.
Appreciate it, my friend.
Congratulations, guys. Nice
Thank you
speaking
so
with
much.
Thanks, brother.
Nice meeting you.
Appreciate you.
Later, guys.
Interesting. See, Matthew says he runs a rescue. He doesn't see him often anymore.
Oh.
Wow. John Weir.
We saved the first for last.
What's up? What is
Woo!
up?
Hi.
Can
The famous
Can I be
figure
heard
skater,
this time?
Johnny Weir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We hear you.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
yeah.
hear you loud.
It's working great.
All right.
That special link
Least
does
popular-
miracles.
That's good. Yeah. The least popular and yet somehow most well-respected podcast guest is back. Here I am. Thank you for having me. This is amazing. I'm worried about you saving me for last because I feel like everyone's gonna be like, all right, I can log out now.
Yeah, probably. He's not even
No new turtle stuff here. John's gonna talk about his shirt or something.
Also, John, how did this
That's not
start?
really
I would like to
true.
talk about my shirt because it's an original.
Woo! Yeah, it is an original.
Yeah.
No,
My dad
check out
has all
my
the other
shirt.
stuff now because they shrunk in the wash. So, oh, nice! I have
Mine
that
is
one
the
too.
original.
I love that one too. That's a good one.
That's the real. I like the way it fits. It's a nice fit.
Yeah, honestly, this
Yeah, it was a
shirt
good
is
shirt.
one of the best fitting shirts I've ever had. I mean, it's starting to get a little bit of the pleating here, the pleats
Mm.
Mhm.
on the
Yeah.
thing. But I mean, you're talking
It's
about
pleats,
this is
it's
10 years
pleats in the
old.
pants.
Yeah, it's
Pleats in the
just
pants.
the pleats. It's going, but
Don't
it
act
still
like
is
you're
the
not
most
impressed.
comfortable fit. Still is a very
Mhm.
comfortable fit. Which I'd like to thank you.
I'm
Steve,
excited to have you
for
here
choosing.
and we could hear you. I want to have you on again as a main guest because we missed
No.
out on that one. That was
Come
so bad. I
on.
told you we basically had to kick you off of the show that you were the only guest on
Yeah.
because it was so bad.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know if it was anything, if it was some sort of cosmic thing where they're maybe the turtle gods didn't want it, is what I mean. That's the only thing that I could equate that to. But it doesn't matter.
Speaking
I'm
of the
here now.
turtle
We got 10
gods,
minutes.
you've been hanging out at a park in New York City lately and trying to foil the operation of people who are setting up, what are those called when you just leave a baited hook on a rope?
It's a plastic.
There's a
Ghost,
word for
ghost
it.
fishing.
Is it a ghost hook?
Something
Is it a
like
ghost-
that, right?
It's a
But I
plastic
thought ghost
stake
hooks and
with just
ghost
a little
nets
bit
are
of
like
twine,
litter.
like thin twine on it. I don't know what it's called, but
It's like a drop line, but
Yeah.
that is like they stick in the ground and leave it, and then
Yeah.
John has been coming across these red ear sliders in New York City that are being that are hooked and they're just sitting there with a hook down their throat,
Aww.
walking around. It's horrible.
It's
horrible.
sad. So this is what this is. It's a clandestine. I don't really is between you, me, and the camera here. Just keep this between the five of us. I'm trying to set up a sting operation. It's not going super well so far.
Let's do it.
No, because
We'll be
I
part of
find, I
it.
mean,
Just keep
so
catching turtles.
I live
All of us
in,
here.
for the record, New York City is is obviously a very broad term. I live in Queens. Queens is my beloved. I have Tony. This is you wouldn't probably even recognize. I don't care about any place that's not Queens. I love Queens. I love it. And there's a pond right next to my house that is a freshwater pond, and it's right next to actually Little Neck Bay, which is Long Island Sound. So I mean, that's the pond itself border. There's a highway in between. Of course, it's Queens. Of course, there's a highway, and then it's the Sound, and there's a bridge, and I go over it, back and forth to go to like the saltwater area, and being a nature person in Queens is not super easy. So I've attached to this pond in a way that it's like a very, it's a very
spiritual.
It's very for me. It's very spiritual. Like I draw power from. Like I go down and draw power, and it's my favorite place.
We understand. We all
place
understand.
in the world besides my home. Yeah, no, I know. I'm trying to explain it, but like it's also so simple because it's not, it's as nice as it is, and it's beautiful, and it's basically part of the largest. It's kind of an ancillary part of the largest park in Queens, the largest city park. But it's there's not really a lot to it. There's probably 25 or 30 turtles, and they're probably 25 of them are red-eared sliders. So it's like, okay, there's not like a lot of diversity there. There is a lot of birds. I'm getting really into birds. Please, nobody judge
That's
me.
awesome.
I live in Queens. I only have access to so many things.
I'm judging.
So I've been getting really into birds. There's some cool birds. I know, and that's
Yeah.
I saw a bullfrog the other day. It was really exciting. Got a good picture of me doing this.
They do that.
That thing that
Yeah.
that just sticking his little yes.
What other turtle species are you seeing besides sliders?
I've seen a couple painteds.
What about terrapins?
I think
he's got something.
There's no terrapins.
He's got something better
by me. That I've seen. So there are terrapins in Queens. There are terrapins down on Far Rockaway. There's a reserve there on the south side of the island.
Isn't Russ Burke out of Queens?
The other thing I've only
sorry
is what?
Anthony, isn't Russ Burke out of Queens?
I don't know. The project he does is in Jamaica Bay.
Okay.
Is that in Queens?
Yeah, that's Queens.
Oh,
Yeah. That's what you told me about him before, Tony. Because I know that's one of the places I've been wanting to get there. The whole thing is all the framing of all this, and I will get back to my clandestine sting operation. Don't worry, I did not forget.
Yeah. You're taking this. You only have 10 minutes. You're like 7.5.
No, I know. I'm trying to speed it along. So
Who's going after him?
This all is in trying to teach my children. I have a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old. The whole thing is to teach them how to have a connection with nature. So I just read. I don't know if anyone has read Steve Rinella's book. It's brand new, and it's called "Raising an Outdoor Kid in an Indoor World," I think, or something. It's something to that.
Very popular book in Queens.
There's I have the only sold copy here at Barnes and Noble. There's a stack of them. So if anyone is looking for it and can't find it, head down to Barnes and Noble on Francis Lewis. So I'm trying to do that. So I'm as much as I can. I spend a lot of time right now with my daughter. She's not in school yet, so I have the morning time basically with her while my wife works, and then I work in the evening. So during the morning, I'm trying to basically take her down to the pond and say, what do we see? What's this? Is this plant is this? And I've always wanted to be the person that can walk around and look at stuff and be like, this is the and know the Latin and recognize the trees and stuff. I'm getting there. I'm getting there, and I'm proud of myself.
Nice.
But it's not quite there yet. So in going down there, I'm trying to do that, and this happened in two days in a row. One day I saw I had heard that there was one in this pond, but I did see it, and I got a pretty good picture of it. I think I sent you the picture, Tony, of a Chinese soft shell.
That was cool to see in a New York
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's and I found out. I don't know if I told you this actually, Tony, but I found that out. I was I have a birding friend named Pierre who I see down there every once in a while, and big shout outs to Pierre.
Back.
I don't know if he's logged on.
He still hasn't come back to the sting operation yet.
We're getting there.
I'll bring it full circle.
Don't do that. Yeah, don't rush me. Don't rush me. I'm gonna get there.
It's the whole theme of the show is to rush you.
Be a sting on you. You keep talking it up. And by the way, you feel like Taylor Swift, but I mean, you look a little more like Taylor Sluggish. I wanted to tell you. I knew he was going to.
I'm quitting, John. You're back as a host. Already.
Yeah.
I had one. So
I can't argue with that.
So I was down there and I saw the Chinese soft shell one day, and I was talking to my friend. He witnessed. I guess it was two guys that were doing Buddhist ceremony of re-releasing animals into the wild. He didn't. I've been trying to. I don't have a name or the full information. It was very interesting. He's Buddhist actually, so he was just knew a little bit about it because like he doesn't. It's not a specific thing for the the type that he does. So he does, but. He said that traditionally they do a ceremony once a year where they usually do it with like sparrows and stuff, which I'm not sure where they're getting the sparrow or if that's a big thing. But the point is they're trying to do a good thing and have like ceremony of like we're getting to be the souls of animals don't need to be in our queen's apartment if it's not right. Generally speaking, obviously we all have stuff, but I don't think that they are aware of it being an issue, but they were playing. He said they were playing like ceremonial music and releasing a bunch of red-eared sliders and Chinese soft shells into the pond. So this pond is about the size. I'm terrible with numbers, so it's about the size of if you put 60 Cadillacs in a parked window, like side window to side window.
Americans will use anything but the metric system.
I could never. I could never.
That's a good metric, though.
It's about
using cars. Yeah.
One clip,
Cadillacs,
maybe we'll
though.
call it. Yeah, no, it was 60 Cadillacs long, roughly. But side to side, not Cadillacs are very long. On end to end, it's not that big. It's not that big. It's much smaller than that.
Yeah.
So
it's
a
not
pretty
80
small.
Cadillacs.
The point is, it's a pretty small pond. There's already a lot of turtles in there. They're all red-eared sliders, which I have come to peace with. Okay, like I'm not gonna. It's. You said it in a good way the other day, Tony. You were saying I can't think of a better place than the New York City pond for red-eared sliders. Keep them there. And I was like, yeah,
right.
For some reason, it's nice. It's nice for me to have turtles, and my daughter goes down and sees them and gets really excited.
And they're sliders that were
one
pets,
was
so they're
clearly-
like the most loving.
Yeah.
It's the
100%.
thing that makes you want to go out and write a
100%.
children's book. Yeah.
Right.
The red-eared slider that was given a
But
second
so that's how
chance
the
at
Chinese
life.
soft shell got there. I've only seen this Chinese soft shell once. It was spotted one other time. I used iNaturalist as an app. I don't know if any of you are familiar with, but you can log things and it's a very fun app. Check it
Never
out.
heard of it.
If not, I'm like plugging things that I found out about within the last like 6 weeks.
Seek is great also.
Mm-hmm.
Seek, yes, I read about that one too. I don't have that one, but so I put that on and I see that it was on there, or that there was sightings of it. But I was like, a Chinese soft. I don't believe there's a Chinese soft shell, but I definitely, like I said, I found it. And then the next day, I went to that same spot where I saw it the day before, just to be like, maybe this is this little, there's a lot of like overhanging branches and stuff. A lot of places for it to hide. You would never see it if it wasn't, basically if it didn't. It wants to be seen is my theory. If I see it, so
He still hasn't come full circle yet.
The same spot. I'm getting there. I'm right there.
I missed you on
The
this show.
same spot.
Yeah.
I noticed the next day there was one turtle like 15 feet into the water, about 2 Cadillacs into the water, and it was swimming.
Oh my god!
It was swimming, but it wasn't going.
Like an old Cadillac. It couldn't.
Yes. The engine had turned over, but it wasn't happening. Okay, it was it was just going.
Oh my god!
And not moving. And so I took a video of it. I sent it to Tony, and I said, urgent help. Does this look like there's anything like, is this some sort of behavior that would make sense? And in exactly the fashion that I expected, I heard back from Tony 4 days later when I reached out to him again about the same issue.
Taylor Sluggish, yeah.
So I did right, the Taylor Sluggish response. So I left it at that point, and I was like, I can't really tell. I was with my daughter. There's a lot of things going on. So I brought some stuff, some supplies. That's Queen's, some nature supplies I brought. It's called One Knife, down to the pond the next day, and I found the thing, and it was stuck on there. And I had actually also, this is to get the timeline confused, I had also found one that I saw that it had like something in it. I thought there's a lot of fishing at the pond, and I thought that that they just caught like a fish's, a fish hook or whatever, and it was in there, and I couldn't get it out. I tried to rescue it. It was, rescue it, but it was too far in there. And the idea for that point was more to show Carmela, as my daughter, just to be like, look at this turtle up close, and we're going to try to help it. It wasn't anything surgical.
You got to get a pair of
hemostats. So I found another one.
Hemostats.
Yes, yeah. It was. Ours is broken, but we keep it around 71 in the winter, and we usually turn it off this time of year.
You're so stupid.
So yeah, so it was, I found it then the next day staked, and it was, caught on. It was a different turtle that was, I tried to pull him in a little bit, and I couldn't. It was, so I cut it as best I could, and then I pulled the thing out, and now I've just been, I've developed what is it called? What is it called when snipers wear the leaf clothes?
Camouflage?
A ghillie suit?
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah.
Yes, yeah, a ghillie suit. Yes.
So
I'm working on a Queens County pond style ghillie suit, so I can hide and wait for someone to come back and set it. And I'm not prone to violence, but I would like to do violence on someone. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, but so what happened was this is where I'm trying to learn and figure out what I can do. Obviously, there's you guys would all. I wish that I had like an AI of like, specifically Steve. I wish I could have like an AI with just like you, so I could just ask you like turtle law questions. I feel like that's the person. I should have texted you. I texted Tony. This was my mistake.
He would have got right back to you too.
I know he would. So I walked up to the park headquarters, which is a bathroom. And it's,
of course it is.
There was a I'm not trying to disparage the New York City Park Department in any way, but there was a guy parked out there, and I explained to him the situation, and he said, yeah, you should call 311 and tell them, because even if I go down there and watch them doing it, they don't have to listen to me. I just work for the Parks Department. I was like, all right, is there someone we can escalate this up to, that within your here in this car may or may not have been nodding off. I can't, I'm not here to be the judge.
Mm-hmm.
But he wasn't like a part of like, there's rangers. He said, if you reach out to the Parks Department, they may be able to send a ranger who can do, be a little bit more, I don't know if they're actually specifically peace officers or how it is, but he was just worked for the Park Department. So he was just like doing, I don't know. I think I've seen him before. I think he just does like, maintenance for some of the buildings on the, in the park.
I think it's time for us to take the law into our own hands.
He was,
Mm-hmm.
that's where I'm at with it. I was like
an 80s movie.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so I'm also trying to ghillie suit, but I mean, out of respect to all the television shows and movies that we've grown up with, it will have a shell on it, as I feel that would be only appropriate. And some sort of snorkeling apparatus. If I could be in the water, I think it would be more effective. If I were to, if it was,
I got something for you.
Out and being
you want to be semi-aquatic.
Oh.
Yeah.
Steve, turn my screen off for half a second.
Okay.
Oh God.
What's he gonna do?
I hope his shirt's on.
I
when
think
he comes
he's
back.
getting changed into a ghillie suit. That is my guess. Any other guesses?
If I
I
see his nipples, I'm just signing off.
That's what I'm saying.
For any reason.
Clothed in any way clothed is fine.
Yeah. For any reason.
Nice.
That's
Nice.
perfect. Yeah.
That is perfect.
Yeah, I definitely need one of
I've
those.
got one of those.
Your suit.
Yeah, that's great.
I got one
wow.
of
It's,
those. But my
how
face is too big, and I'm bearded.
Will that
so it doesn't
willingly
work.
accept washable paints, like children's style washable paints? Do you think?
What do you mean?
Yeah.
Like if you want to do like a Braveheart before you put it on?
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
to make it like
Yeah,
blend, so
you
it's not
gotta
yellow
paint
and
it.
stuff.
I see.
Okay.
Yeah, it's plastic.
It means to camouflage the mask
Yeah.
on the
Right.
outside.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it works really
Yeah,
well.
I think that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I don't want to alert anyone that I'm in there. But yeah, so that's it's a minor thing, and I've gone through the process of thinking like, all right, I should try to get rid of some of these red-eared sliders, and get some of the get some if I could get rid of some of the red-eared sliders and maybe try to getting something else in there that would be a little more useful. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's too big. That's too big of a process and project for me. So I am just going to continue to do what I can do, which is also kind of what I've had to accept as being, a member of the Queens, New York, animal community, is just take care of my space as best that I can. But I'm going slow, but I'm going to, I would like to start picking it up. And there's a lot there. The good thing again too is not that anyone in here specifically cares about Queens, but there is a lot of people that are, no one's not thinking about it. Like there's organizations and all that, and it's New York City, so like everyone, whatever wildlife we do have, there's people there's people that care and are on the scene, and I'm trying to figure out where I will fit in with that. There's not a lot of turtle people that I'm aware of, or turtle organizations, but
I'm picturing you. This is where my head went, and why I'm laughing at myself. I'm picturing you walking down the street in New York City, and Nems saying, "How dare you disrespect me?" Looking like a 7-foot swamp thing as you walk by in your ghillie suit with. Oh my gosh, too good. So there's this guy on Instagram who does these videos where he says, "How dare you disrespect me?" Looking like, and then he says,
"Don't ever disrespect."
Don't ever
disrespect Nems by doing a fake impression.
I can't help it. I'm sorry. I'm old. I'm Taylor Sluggish. But yeah, that's like I'm just picturing you walking down the street just like another weirdo in New York City, 7 foot.
Yeah.
Swamp.
Don't ever disrespect me with duckweed all over your face, trying to pretend that you're a turtle.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what I would be
looking
going
like
for.
you're semi-aquatic. Anyway.
Yeah.
That's actually perfect. You can make like a duckweed like mesh, like pretty easily.
Right, well,
probably.
that's my thought. If I'm doing a ghillie suit, and if I am gonna go aquatic, then it'll have to be duckweed and lily pad, lily pad base. There's a large amount of duckweed as there's a large amount of ducks. Yeah. So there's so many. This is the thing, Queens, we're very diverse, and there's a lot of ways that I could go with it. But I think duckweed is the closest to my heart. So,
all right, listen, we're past 100 minutes. Mm-hmm. We're past 100 comments. Yeah. We're past 100 episodes. Okay, we've been through.
Yeah.
We've traveled.
I try to slow clap.
We've traveled over 100 Cadillacs. We are. We've come.
That's my new metric. Yeah.
Right. We've come to the end of the show, and John, I want to tell you I love you. Let me ask you a question. Would you be willing to drive cross country next year with Kevin Minto and Kevin Pollack and I in search of reptiles?
Let me think. Yes.
Okay, let's do that. Let's plan on that.
Done.
John.
I'm going to get my ghillie suit ready.
John, there's going to be a lot of farting.
Did you
That's
say
fine. We'll go Iron Man all day.
Iron Man. That's when you lock the windows. Yeah. Steve said, "Don't forget Danielle wants to go." Yes, I have not forgot. There's other people. Steve, I think we're going 2 cars. Chris Dolinish keeps trying to keep. Is it Dolinish or Dolinish? You have to tell me, Chris, how it's pronounced. He's trying to invite himself, and I wanna invite him to something too. Anyway, I appreciate all you guys.
I think it's pronounced Dolinish.
Delicious.
Delicious, yeah.
Think.
Delicious.
Like delicious.
I don't know,
Delinish?
but I think so.
All right. Well, we have to ask. They'll let us know. Listen, appreciate you all. Here's to 100 more. Love you all. John, you were there on episode number 1. and can't thank you enough for. Honestly, it was John's idea to come up with the podcast. At that point, I hadn't even like listened to a podcast ever, and John was listening to me like, "We should really make a podcast. This is a cool thing."
Yeah.
So
I was like, it's so easy. You just talk.
you just talk. It's like you don't even need to go to therapy.
Little
if you
did
have a
we know.
podcast. Yeah, it's great. Anyway,
You still need to go to therapy, but
I do.
Yeah.
Thank you.
me too. Good. All right. I love you guys.
Thank
Love
you
you.
so much.
Later, guys.
Bye.
Have a great night, everybody.
Happy
Thanks for
100th.
joining us, John.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us, Chris and Andrew
Steve,
and
Anthony, and John.
Michael
Congratulations.
and Cameron. Thanks,
perfect.
Kevin. Yeah. Just that's got to be the end. Let's roll
that.
this.
Don't you ever disrespect me.